Hey everybody, just wanted to say hello. We're getting close to the end of the Legends of Nova's Kickstarter campaign. Really exciting, over 16,000 Canadian dollars raised now and well over 300 backers. So I had quite a few people join over the last day, which is awesome. And there's some momentum going. And we are still running Facebook boost ads. We're still running Board Game Geek banners and still trying to talk to some people behind the scenes. Had a really great idea from somebody that talked more about, instead of just posting in D&D groups, maybe talking to individuals that run D&D campaigns and introduce Legends of Novus as kind of a pre-D&D type of board game. Which I thought was a really different spin on it, instead of just saying it's an alternative to D&D, saying it could be a way as a what do they call it? A gateway game into Dungeons and Dragons. So that might be a way to help share with some other groups out there why Legends of Novus might be a good game for them. So thanks again to all the wonderful new backers that joined in the last day, and for the momentum that we have right now. It's great to see as we go into these last few days. And I've mentioned on several of these videos and on some of the written updates, but there won't be any cancellation happening until late on Wednesday, when we really see where we're at. So if we have the chance to succeed and fund, even if it's at the bare minimum goal, I'd rather have that than not fund at all, because I want to deliver this great game to you guys. And there's always a potential, if we can work out costs, to still try to squeeze in an extra character. So don't feel that the stretch goals won't be met at all. If we can get the funding to that minimum level, I'll still see what I can do to squeeze in some extra content for all of you who have helped make the game what it is so far. All right, today we're going to talk about character classes one more time, but this time I want to talk into detail about each ability. So stay tuned.
All right, hello everybody. So today I just wanted to get a little bit more in depth about the core characters, but this time more about how their abilities work. So before I shared with you a little bit about their backstories, today we're going to talk about their abilities in the game. So first off, we're going to look at Vin, the Shadow of Drakkar. Vin is a thief class character with the crossed daggers, and he gets +2 combat when he starts the game, or as long as he has this card. With Vin, the first time he draws a reward card each turn, he gets to draw 2 cards instead. Pick one and put one on the bottom of the reward deck. So as a thief, he's a bit more selective about what he wants, and perhaps he has a better understanding of looting and what to go for first. So that kind of represents the thematic aspect of a thief. His downside is that he cannot wear heavy armor. So there's some powerful shields and plate mail and even gauntlets that are considered heavy armor, which really deter from his ability to be a thief. And then his special ability is called Pickpocket, and this one's a bit different because it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens when he specifically explores a city location. So if he were to explore any city location, which is basically anywhere on the map that has the a character icon is a city, because it's a home city, or any area on the map with just a city, then he'll get 25 gold for that, which is a pretty decent perk because it allows him to buy cards or trade for experience. So what he may lack in for versatility, he gains in other abilities. So that is Vin, the Thief class. Moving on, we find Kane, the Knight of Exire. So Kane has the highest combat of all the characters at a +3 to start with, and he also gains +1 when he has 2 weapons equipped or a 2-handed weapon equipped. So if he's got the 2-handed Sword of Ace equipped, or if he has a dagger in one hand and a mace in another, he'll be a little bit stronger because he's really good with weapons as a fighter, again thematically representing his class. He's also much stronger against monstrosity creatures because he's a trained warrior of the realm and he knows the dangers that are out there. So he inherently is stronger against the quest creatures of the world if he chooses to fight them before he becomes an advanced class. But he also doesn't like to run away. He's got a bit of an ego, so his downside is that he has a -2 to his run. His trigger or special ability, which isn't all the time, is his expert maneuver. So at any time during combat, before or after rolling a die, he can discard any card from his hand to gain +2 for that round of battle. And why it says round of battle is if you're fighting a quest creature, there could be up to 3 rounds. So it's like doing one move that doesn't last over the course of multiple rounds. And but he can, if he's facing a quest creature, he can repeat it any number of times. In any other battle, he can only discard 1 card. So I might have to fix the wording there, but that's the idea of Kane, the fighter class. Moving on, we have Davra, the Wizard of Asa. She's the most versatile of the characters with her spellcasting. But first off, when she draws her first adventure card in a turn, she can choose to discard it, then draw another card. So this automatically helps her bypass curses. She's smart and wise, intelligent, and she knows how to dodge things that she really doesn't like. And so that's what that adventure ability represents. So she has a bit of an advantage when she does the Explorer option compared to some of the other classes. She also gains an extra experience anytime she runs from a battle. So inherently she has a +0 combat. She's not very good at the beginning of the game. So if she chooses to run, which she may do more often, she'll at least get some experience for her, which will end up building up her combat over time with the combat chart here. And then her triggered or her special ability is spellcasting. So once every turn, she can either gain a travel, so she can move further on the map, or she can gain 2 combat, or she can gain 3 run. And so this is a decision point for the wizard character. If you're Davra, you get to decide each turn before you move if you want an extra move, during combat if you want the extra combat, or during combat if you choose rather to escape. It gives you a much better chance of doing so and getting that extra experience. So she's got a lot more versatility, can do different things than the other characters. Moving on to Beric, the Druid of Ve. This particular druid does not like bladed weapons, so a bit of a downside. He can't use swords or anything with slashing like axes. It'll say specifically on the reward card. He does gain 2 against animal creatures, and that's not because he likes to beat up animals, but it's because he knows how they fight and knows how to defeat them. Maybe he doesn't even kill them, maybe he just defeats them and then sets them off on their animalistic ways. But he also has a huge advantage with the +1 travel. Because he knows the world and the paths of nature, he gains +1 travel. So he can get a lot further, a lot faster than other characters. Except for the wizard, of course, who has that as an optional ability, but then she doesn't have the extra combat strength that he does. He has a +1 core combat, but he can also discard 2 cards at any time to gain a basic animal ally and put it on an item slot on his character sheet. So one of these 4 item slots can hold an animal ally. An animal allies, the basic animal ally is +2 combat. So he can gain a wolf or an animal ally for his sheet. He can only use that during his preparation phase, so before he starts at the beginning of his turn. But that inherently lets him get +3 combat just with his own ability, because he can discard 2 cards that maybe he doesn't need to become stronger permanently. So that is Beric, Druid of the Ve. And then finally Chandril, the Priestess of Braille. So Chandril cannot be cursed. She's inherently blessed by the goddess Aura, and when she does draw a curse card, she can get another card instead. So she never penalized by curses. She's stronger against undead creatures, so there are a few of those in the world, or she could go to the abandoned wastelands and fight them without any penalty there. And then her upside is that she can gain 2 combat any turn, and just because she triggers a ward, but she can't gain the rewards, she just gets the experience points for those battles. So it helps her bring her combat from 1 to a 3, more on par with a fighter, with the downside of not being able to get additional reward cards. And so those are the 5 classes of Ve. In all the play testing, they've been fairly balanced, and each one has some different ways to play around with to see how best you want to use them. And of course, each one of these core classes can then advance to an advanced class that has a matching advanced class symbol. So when you look at the chart on the Kickstarter page, you'll see that any of the classes can advance to up to 4 different classes. So that's another thing to consider. Each class still can inherently become more powerful based on what they become later on. So there you have it. That's our 5 character classes. Thanks for listening in on another Legends of Novus training session and getting through another day of the Kickstarter. It's coming to an end soon, and hope to share some more information with you over the coming days. You have a wonderful day.